All right. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How's everyone doing today? Podcast kind of late. I apologize, but hey, what's what what's better? We do it now, or we do it just doing it instead of just forgetting about it. It's your host, your boy Bandit. Welcome to the Bandit Bros podcast. My co-host is not here at this present moment. He is on his way right now. So we're just kind of waiting for him. Just gonna go over a few things for today. Today's podcast, we're gonna talk about the health. We're gonna talk about the health and wellness of the podcast. We're gonna talk about um some of the implications that's going on today's society on gaming, and we're gonna jump in a little bit of into maybe cyberbullying, of course. So for me, it's a touchy subject. I didn't really when I was a kid. I didn't really have a lot of courage when I was a kid. So this is a really touchy subject, and I wanted to bring it up because we should be able to get out of our skin. We should be able to be ourselves no matter who we are around. No matter who you're around, we should always, you know. And maybe not everyone has that outlet. Maybe not everyone has that ability to basically, you know, say what they got to say and, not feel some type of way about it. And I think a person like me and my co-host, whenever he shows up, I would like for us to, really knuckle down and talk about, talk about stuff like that. Like, ask yourself, why would you want to be a part of something? Why would you be part of something if you're just going to be not included in it? Oh, oh,
Check in.
ladies and gentlemen, is that who I think it is?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can speak up a little bit.
I'm trying to see what. Still connected to Discord. I don't know. Check, check, check.
Yeah, it's like you're here, but you're like kind of distance.
I mean, I don't. I've been using the same mic I've been using.
Oh,
Hold on.
there it goes.
What's
Ah,
going on, everybody?
yes, sir.
But keep going, then. When you know, man.
No, no, no. So yeah, guys. Draco's here. Hell yeah, hell
In the
yeah.
flesh.
Um, but yeah. So basically, today's episode is gonna be really, really tied to really hands-on and a lot emotional, especially on the whole health and safety part of gaming, and the internet, and the whole safety hazard, safety nets. Were especially when it comes to our kids playing these games or being online, and just really knuckling in on why why it's very important, to be healthy while you're doing, being online,
For sure.
and also keeping a very safe, being safe while you're talking to these people, because you don't know who it is going to be at the end of the mic.
Hmm. I could agree with that.
Uh, yeah. Um, honestly, so reason why I'm gonna be honest, the reason why I wanted to bring it up very quick, for today's podcast
Mm.
because um I saw or read it into apparently Roblox is introducing and adding a dating feature,
Insanity.
and it kind of blew my mind because I was like, it was like, so a game essentially for for little kids, to kind of mess around and play since Minecraft was already taken by adults. Now it's taken by grown adults, and now we're adding the dating feature. But
You think it's being taken over by adults?
yeah, I definitely believe it's taken by adults because like why a game that's meant for for kids, you know to where kids can play these different little modes, build whatever, and just kind of do
Hmm.
and now we're adding like adults into this, and then we're adding a dating aspect into this. It's we're getting beyond what some of what some of these games or what some of these websites were designed for. Like, I don't know if anyone realized
Yeah.
for
So
Roblox was actually designed for special ed kids
I
because
didn't know that.
for them because for them a lot of things that they designed in some of these worlds, it kind of helped them see things different. I don't know, it was weird. I didn't really see much into it. I just know when I was in school there was a we had a special ed class, and was a woman that's been in with the special ed community for I guess for 30, 40 years, and it was like back in like middle school.
Hmm.
And she's like, when I saw what they were doing on the computers, they were literally playing Roblox. Like that was literally like one of their things, but they were doing like exercising and skills based with that instead of now it's basically open world game to where you could basically flirt and talk to everyone, and it just like it got past the purpose of why that was designed.
Okay.
So I didn't mean to kind of jump into directly on whole aspect. Just
I
today's
mean,
gonna
it's a definite issue. The only thing, well, and I agree to some aspects of what you're saying, but it kind of piggybacks to a little bit of the previous podcast where we had the ID and censorship with GTA and things. The online atmosphere itself, um, and especially from my generation and the newer generations, everyone that's adapting and being more and more online, the older the being younger that they get, um, the predators are going to get to where they want to get, and adults are going to get to where they want to get. I mean, I think one of the best examples for me, with actual experience, like I said, is the me's IMVU days that I was on there in chat rooms and sitting there talking to people that clearly weren't the designated age of 12 to whatever the extended age was. And even, I mean, especially IMVU, look at what IMVU turned in. I mean, man, IMVU started out as a
um,
legit just chat room that you could use just expressive memes. So people were doing stuff before what Roblox is enabling now. They had sex rooms and weird kinky fetish rooms that you were able to join in.
dang.
But
Actually, no, I've actually seen that shit too.
the dichotomy with IMVU that is that they were age restricted. And I mean, once again, with the internet, like I said, I mean, it's very easy unless you want to sit here and argue that the ID system is going to block that, which, like I said, there's going to be workaways around that as well. But, like people are going to get to where they want to get. With your example of, the special needs using Roblox, it's just kind of like how kids with on the spectrum use Minecraft as a way to sit there and enhance and escape. Like if we sit here and kind of start really gatekeeping everything, I feel like that's when we start getting into this weird area of censorship. And what it really just gets back to, especially with you being a family man, you being with kids, and me with younger sisters and kids in that same area, it just gets back to the parenting at home and just really having involvement in everyone's lives. You got to know what's going on with your kids. You got to know what they're getting up to. You got to know what they're doing. A lot of these things and a lot of these examples and instances of these chat rooms and meetups and terrible instances that I don't want to even really speak on can truly be avoided with enough prep and enough communication and just kind of letting everyone be on the same page when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying?
I can.
Not to cut you off, but I don't see why we need quote unquote dating for Roblox because I don't, as an adult myself, that does not entice me. And like if you're really trying to do online dating, I would suggest a Tinder or any kind of actual adult chat room to where you can actually meet with a cohort of your age. But I mean, like I said, the freaks are gonna go to where the freaks want to get, and as I know you've seen on online with countless examples, the freaks are already on Roblox. So maybe to have a designated room for them to be in that section, it could benefit them. I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not co-signing or championing that idea, but the cool thing with Roblox too is that some of the great there's I'm not a Roblox guy that plays it, but viral moment with them. I don't know if you heard about, like, there was like a programmer who legit made an awesome Call of Duty kind of death match royale spinoff with literally just using Roblox code, and it's free and it's accessible to everyone that just joins Roblox. Like, can still play it today, and everyone could just get in and have arguably a better time than some of the modern Call of Duties now. And it's just right there accessible. And adult had to make that and program that to make that feasible.
Yeah, I can. I can understand that, but I mean, but wouldn't it
It's
just
a
create
gray
a
area.
toll though?
It's just a gray area. Like when we get into true areas of censorship and gateways and road blocking. Like I said, I'm just my stance in that area. It starts in the home, in my opinion. It just starts in the home.
And I believe a bigger and honestly, I want to definitely reiterate, even if even if I disagree to anything you're saying, which I don't, or anyone was to disagree on what you're saying, it also ties in onto the whole aspect of you know the whole cyberbullying. And a reason why I think I believe I just you can't let me take this back. When you go do a lot of these games or just a lot of these social sites where
Hmm.
you're making yourself known, you're making yourself present, because most of everything on here you have to make a profile, you have to put a profile pic, no matter what you do.
For
And
some stuff, yeah.
I just I feel like for the most part, I feel like it's just a trap, just just for some of these creepy motherfuckers just to be allowed. And of course we can't really super dig deep into that because everyone's got their rights to do and whatever they want, essentially, as long as they're not hurting someone and hurting someone else. But like,
Hmm.
I I kind of want to take back something I said in the previous episode on on some of the shit fully ID wise. Like, I wouldn't say put my ID or scan my social security, but like I feel like with as much as much technology we use on a day-to-day basis, there's no way you're telling me that we cannot keep our little kids away from a lot of these grown adult social sites, and why we are allowing little kids to be a part of that.
Yeah, and
Like
I
there's a
don't
lot of these because a
disagree
lot of
there
these
for sure.
because a lot of these sites don't have something for little kids to kind of like branch away, and including games. Games don't have an area where little kids can just go off in their own little spot. No, little kids are playing with grown men every day. So
Mm.
a lot of times you get censored, or someone reports you for talking down. You can't cuss because a kid feels some type of way, or you can't you can't say what you gotta say out of anger in the game in the moment because feelings are being hurt, because someone's not talking. It goes back to what you said. You got to talk to your kids. Someone's got to be present in the home. But if you're being present in the home, but you're also fighting if you're also fighting the government's rules, how are you supposed to keep a safe home or safe environment for your kid on social media or gaming if you're just fighting, you're fighting the people who's making these sites or making these games?
That's a good question. I mean, it's a question I don't know if we 100% have the answer for. I mean, I came from a generation where, literally one of my first experiences on online gaming was Halo, and then literally I was in there with a bunch of grown men that when I was killing repeatedly was shouting a bunch of obscenities that, I didn't have the option to report to Xbox at the time. So I just kind of ran with it because that's just the environment I was in. I don't know. I mean, it was we're in different scenarios and different situations where some deem appropriate and some, like you say, deem offensive and don't want their child to be a part of. And then, like I said, for those, it starts with the home where, if that's what you don't want your kid interacting with and being in environments of, you have all the safeguards and all the right to block them and have them not be a part of those. And heck, maybe not even have them be part of the online gaming sphere if you are truly that, worried and on the defense with your kid, which these days I definitely see. But as far as a blanket answer for all of that, I just don't think we have one. And I don't think the answer is just to submit your government ID or literal social security number that is used for everything like your genetic makeup, essentially, as far as the government sphere, to just be put into a database that is already known to sell your data to begin with.
And it's weird that no matter what no matter what we say, no matter how we come across certain things, we're they don't care, for the most part, because they make the big bucks, because they make money doing what they're doing, saying what they're saying, and promoting these games, promoting these sites.
I
But then
mean,
they
hey,
don't.
not to cut you off, but let's take gaming out of the picture here. The EU is literally trying to pass right now a mandate that it's just going to require you to submit basically everything that you have private wise internet to them. Your private messages, everything you have saved in any chat log or any social media app is literally going to have to be submitted to the EU if this passes.
That
Is that what is that going to sit here and safeguard us and protect us from predators or whoever's going to? My personal opinion, no. Is that going to be positive for everyone involved that's worried about the censorship and worried about their kid, getting manipulated? I personally don't think so. It's just there's a slippery slope when it comes to putting up mandates and gatekeeping for things like the internet or things that are supposed to be the most accessible to everyone. You know what I mean? Like it's a very slippery slope there.
Listen, y'all. I look. I will 100% make sure to have my kids respect the laws, respect their elders, respect the authority to a point. When I mean to a point, I mean, if an officer tells you to stop, pull over, you pull over. Make sure, I will make
For
sure
sure.
make sure my kids know their rights, know their laws, etc., etc. But at some point, we have to get past our own, we have to get past our own, satisfaction, because at this point we're letting our own satisfaction, we're letting our own hunger for some of the stuff what we want impact our the way, literally the way of life. Like when I mean, like, because when I say what I mean, sorry about y'all. What I mean basically is we we do nothing when it comes to like people who play games all the time, people who are constantly online all the time. You never know what you're going to see. You never know what you're going to
Most
hear.
definitely.
And a lot of times you can't say nothing because you're not supposed to see it. You're not supposed to hear it. And it puts you in a rock and a hard place because it's like we've been raised a certain way to see things or say things or speak out on things, but when it comes to that slippery slope, as you said, why why is that? Why can that be a thing? Why can that be allowed a thing? We and it's weird because like we have kids, and I have a thing because it had to deal with this event me and my family went to today. The whole cyberbullying, the whole, basically, the event went to. I guess it was supposed to be just for the moment we thought it was just a party, and then I guess it was really about overdosing, cyberbullying, and it was weird because I was me and my wife's mom was just talking about it, like talking about the whole cyberbullying and people overdosing, people getting bullied, and people, committing suicide because of shit that's happening with them. A father literally overdosed. Don't know why, but he left his 5-year old daughter behind. I'm not condoning what he did. I don't like the fact he left his daughter
Huge.
there,
Yeah.
but I don't know what demons he was fighting. I don't know what caused him to do that. I don't know what's the full meaning. But to me, it's, it really deals back. It really dials back on, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves because the internet's going to be here. The games are going to be here. Everything's going to be here whether we're here or not. And for, for someone that's, doing the live streaming, doing the streamer life, I may not be I may not be 100% where everyone else is at. I may not be Kaisen. I may not be face sensor, or I might not be the whole face thing. That's cool. I'm down. I'm great with who I am. I'm great that I'm not like them because I saw what they were doing. I saw the stuff they were doing. I saw that they were streaming 24/7. And a lot of times they weren't streaming a lot of the games that I played. I saw how they talked to people. I saw how they, but they were literally killing themselves. They didn't have a life with their family. Most of them are just, they literally drifted away from their family. They drifted away from all that. You know, what are we doing just for money? What are we doing just for the fame? Like,
Real talk.
no disrespect to the money, no disrespect to what they do. I appreciate everything they did because it's helped me get to my courage of wanting to persist something that I've been wanting to do before I saw them do this.
Mhm.
You know, and it's like, man, I have to think about my health. I have to think about my kids' health, and I have to think about the wellness of I have to think about stuff like this. As a parent, as a father, There's no, for someone that's done nothing from the past to just kind of be so shy and just dealt with things just kind of hitting him and just just dealt with it. I can't. Especially when I have a platform or an ability to stop it or deal with it or talk about it. I'm going to speak. I'm going to.
Most definitely.
And I believe, when it comes to streamers' safety and health, that should be people who game, people who just. I think people really need to start taking care of themselves and stop killing themselves for people who don't care. Stop killing yourself for a company that does not care about you. Stop killing yourself for a boss that's going to literally hire someone else the next day.
For sure.
You know, I was just at a job where I would I was taking care of, I can't say much, but I would take care of three people that couldn't take care of themselves. I was their home health aide. My job is to make sure they're fed, taking meds, yada yada yada, dealing with society. But I cannot do my job when I can't even get a hold of a nurse. I can't get a hold of you know, my my boss for getting authorization for certain things. And it was just like I was literally being there on their beck and call. Anytime they needed me to do something, I did it just for them. And it was just like, man, I never saw my kids. My kids never saw me. I would literally be gone I would just be gone because I'd just be at work. And I did everything but be a father. All I did was work, come home, and I would be on call. And my job consisted of me of being in charge. My job persisted in me on being on call all the time.
No.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I don't mean to wrench our ears out, but this health is for me. It's just been a big thing, especially when you got family that's kind of around you, that's kind of like dealing with health problems and not able to walk or do stuff like that. It kind of gets me, and I think we as my generation, we have to think about that. Our generation is definitely not the healthiest. I tell you that.
No, you're not lying.
Um,
Mentally and physically.
yeah, um, but I will, but I will be the first one to admit I'd rather make sure I'm fine, make sure my kids fine before I make sure everyone else is fine, and that's just me. Now, I'm not saying I don't love my supporters. I'm not saying I don't love my followers, and I'm not saying I don't love my fans. I love everybody. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I still have to take that step back. I gotta take a step back. I
And the
have to.
piggy,
Oh my bad.
yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Not to cut you off. Just to piggyback a little bit off it. It's really just like anything. Everything needs a nice central balance. You gotta keep everything in tandem and think about your wealth, your health, and of course your loved ones. So you know, streaming is in a way it's literally that give and take, that 1-2 punch that you got to kind of figure out that nice balance of all that you need to do, kind of really utilize those 24 hours a day. You know,
Listen, I found a quote for today. I found a quote, and we're gonna be blending in quotes every day or every episode on either the topic, how we feel, or if a follow one of y'all feel like you got want to have a quote to send to us, we'll put it up there, put it up there next episode. But this is a quote from my man Itachi. He said, "People's lives don't end when they die; it ends when they lose faith."
okay, some real shit.
Let me tell you something. At the end of the day, you should not lose faith on yourself. You should not lose faith on your family. You should not lose faith in the higher power, on whatever your higher power is, whether it's God, Buddha. I'm not judging. We all have our own beliefs, but for me, in my, we have to have faith. What is the, something that my wife's mom keeps telling me is, how can you love how can you love someone else if you don't love yourself? And that hit me because a lot of times I wonder, how can I love Tina, or how can I love the kids when I don't love myself? And I look back a lot of times, and I look back about how I felt I was perceived as a child towards my parents and my family. Look, we all have family that pick and choose when they want to be around. We all have family who pick and choose when they want to be there for us. And we all have that one person or two that just gets under our skin and just act like they're there for us, or act like their shit don't stink, but we're supposed to be in that, but we say nothing, but we still love them from afar.
Real talk.
I was bullied from family. I will say no names. For some of you who may know me, you may know who I'm talking about, or some people who I'm talking about, but I used to be bullied. And for people who know me, I'm a big guy. You don't perceive me as being bullied, you perceive me as being the bully. But as a kid, I was soft. I didn't really have a grasp about who I was and how people were and how it actually meant.
Real talk.
When I took the when I got older, matured, realized, experience. I experienced, then I realized I got to start taking care of myself, because at the end of the day, you only got yourself. I mean, you got your real ones, but when you wake up in the mirror, who's holding on that day? Right then and there, that is you looking yourself in the mirror. It's like, what am I doing? Who am I going to be? And essentially, it also ties that. And the reason why I believe it ties into like gaming is because if you're just going to perceive yourself as being, man, people don't like me, so I'm just going to be a dick. So you're going to go online, just cuss everyone out, or just rage or hack, or you're just going to be that guy. And
The troll
it
approach.
just doesn't help. Yeah, the troll approach. Yes, thank you. Please, yes, yes. I don't know why I couldn't think of the final thing of the word.
Yeah.
And broski, I don't know, if you want to step in, please step in anytime. I feel like I'm talking too much.
You're good. No, I think anything we should just kind of segue a little bit into a little bit of a kind of a lighter topic. I think we should get into kind of segue back to that Xbox kind of PC debate, not PC, PlayStation debate a little bit,
Ooh.
because you had a few things to say about that. Um,
Um.
but really,
What?
really, I mean, I'll start off here, but just kind of like how the
Yeah.
dynamic kind of is at this point. I mean, I know the way kind of Xbox is set up at this point, they're essentially kind of giving up as far as the hardware is concerned. I think the only thing they've got coming, as far they may be making one more home console, but they're basically putting all their eggs in the basket of cloud gaming and the Xbox Game Pass, which is essentially, I mean, a lot of people look at it, just giving the white flag to PlayStation, and then Nintendo's kind of just all doing their thing like they always have been. But
Oh, so just nothing but download no disc version games, I guess.
essentially, the weird thing that there was a recent it was like a stock meeting with Sony. Essentially, they're trying to see essentially how they're going to play with the next PlayStation as far as exclusives go. because that's the whole reason why we even had this whole console war debate to begin with. Was back in the day, when you bought a console for there was a game that was going to stick to it. Grand Theft Auto 4, a big example for me. It was Grand Theft Auto was always a Sony PlayStation exclusive, but for Grand Theft Auto 4, they decided to ink a deal exclusively with Xbox and the 360, and even make exclusive DLC cater for it. So you literally had to buy an Xbox 360 to play the newest GTA. These days, though, like I said, with the recent meeting with Sony and the PlayStation 6, which you would think they would take this as a victory lap. They're actually considering now with just exclusives in general from the standard year that they try to do it now, because even they're kind of bringing trying to do it down to about 6 months now, to where you'll just see basically everything on other consoles with PC and possibly even the Xbox and their new handheld. They're going to try to dish out on us for $1,000.
So there's gonna be nothing exclusive about the Xbox,
And Sony essentially, or
bro. So
it's just gonna be they're gonna be timed
that's
exclusives. Um,
mm,
that's what they're gonna be playing with, because essentially they're the way they look at it is that they're losing out on money. Like they're thinking that Xbox's whole bread and butter should be their bread and butter too. So they want you to essentially, get premium like you're getting Game Pass. They want you to sit here. Hence why, like the new games they're putting, we talked about this, Resident Evil 2, the classic version, and Resident Evil 3, the classic version, are now going to be on Premium Plus, with the caveat that you have to have Premium Plus, which is $20 a month, I believe 120 a year at this point before they raise the prices again. Um, but essentially, the
bro.
caveat:
Come
the games
on,
you used to be able to buy, you now have to stream. You can't just buy. This is the same games you were able to buy on the PS3, the Vita. I'm not maybe the PS4. I'm not sure, but those two consoles definitely. Like the Vita, I know I can go in the store right now and still get it for $10 for both of those. Um,
bro.
so
I'm not,
we're just kind of in a weird state where there's really no point to even as much as I love Sony, it's just you're really just buying them to really just rep a flag at this point. You just do you like blue? Do you like green? Or do you like Nintendo?
bro.
Because Nintendo's
I
always
don't
been
like
there.
Xbox at all,
I mean, like I said, we're not even Xbox. The way we know it is pretty much going to cease to exist in this next generation. It's going to be exclusively cloud gaming, that handheld, and then just the premium or the Game Pass premium for PC and everything.
do do you know what's considered exclusive for each one of these game systems right now? As of right now,
That's a good question.
exclusively for PlayStation, it's Last of Us, God of
Mm.
War Ragnarok, Stray, Horizon Forbidden West, and Until Dawn. Xbox is Forza Horizon 5, Grounded, Halo Infinite, and Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Which I
Nintendo.
believe actually has a PC version now, and just I believe Stray has a PC version now. I also believe Ragnarok has a PC version now. So I believe those are all
Oh
caveats
yeah,
at this
Ragnarok
point.
is on the PC Game
Yeah. So
Pass.
those
That is
yeah those
true.
are those are all
Yeah, and I think Stray is.
yeah. So not
That's
even those
Xbox. You
are
suck.
exclusive.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
wild. That's. Hey, I'm just letting you know. Any people, any y'all Xbox want to come on this podcast and debate us? Please, P- please bring your butts up here and come debate how trash your system has been for years.
I'm not touching that one.
I'm going to, because I have both systems. So yeah,
Right. You know, I, I rock with both. I just can't believe that. I mean, the biggest L they took a console that couldn't even sell and they raised the price on it. So the $500 console is now 600 something dollars. So it's insane to me.
bro, they took an L on these fucking
And that's
exclusives,
before the
man.
tariffs. So they really had no excuse of even doing that. So They just went ahead
Dang.
and shot themselves in the knee to shoot themselves in the knee,
And the
which is
Switch with
cool. Bill Gates doesn't want to make any more money. I'm okay with Bill Gates not making more money.
obviously
Okay,
he's got way too much money.
that's cool. So,
So I guess Switch has Legend of Zelda, Breath of Wind, and Tears of the Kingdom.
well, like I said, Nintendo is in their own bag, and that's the one, you know, double-edged sword, I would say, at this point, because we've truly lived to see Nintendo, the hero, become the villain. Because everything they've done with the Nintendo Switch 2 is just an absolute, just anti-consumer mess. From banning you from just putting nicknames, to banning you from certain games, from banning you just to even try to use the console. It's just literally, I
Mm,
think at this point, it's this rights and services that you sign in. It tells you don't even own the console when you start it up and sign up for it. So that's just, we're getting in another gray area to where you're paying for just the privilege of paying, or of playing it, but you don't own anything.
mm. And that is very
That's
true
what
because
Nintendo's done.
PlayStation has already, man, PlayStation kind of pissed me off because they took like half of the fucking half of my games that I've bought that I spent over $60 on and DLCs on. Crazy Sony, what we
Insanity,
doing? What are we doing?
insanity.
What is that? Like why what is the point of buying the game if you're just going to take it from us?
That's why Ross from he's a semi big YouTuber. He literally started the whole Stop Killing Games initiative because he played the game called The Crew, and he liked it so much. But when he was making a review for it on the YouTube, essentially the servers were going to be literally be shut down as he was reviewing the game. So essentially, he took it upon himself to start like a whole petition/initiative to basically tell these companies like Ubisoft and all these abysmal, terrible business practices that if you're paying $60 for a game, it's not something you could just take from us. And if you are going to take from us, you either need to give us something replaceable, or you need to give us our money back. And it's got enough
Man,
headway. It's legit about to hit the European boards. We're going to see. It's just one of those things that it has to be done, and Europe, unfortunately, and out of the country, because the U.S. just doesn't back the consumer; it always backs the company. So any initiative that he tried just basically got shot out the window here, unfortunately. But
yo,
like I
yo
said, it took off, and looking like something may actually happen here soon for the U.S. To the point
bro,
that Ubisoft actually commented on it and said that we're going to keep Crew 2 alive, at least.
when that
So
game come out?
I'm not entirely sure. Maybe like early 2010s. But I mean, the Crew itself. I mean, I never had a chance to sink in, but with the review, it looks like a game that, I mean, it makes sense why people still want to play it to this day. I mean, if you pay money for a game, you should be able to play that game, in my opinion. Especially if you're paying for $60 retail. These days, $70 to $80 retail,
Mhm.
thanks to Nintendo.
And not trying to call a game out there, but Borderlands 4, what the fuck you doing charging that game for $140?
I mean, bro, it's the standard. That's what you have to understand. Everything, like anything else, is being piecemealed in front of your eyes. Like, when you spend 70, 80 for the base game, it's maybe 40 to 60% of that game. Then you got to get the DLC. Then you got to get whatever upgrades, and then you got to get the season pass that comes with it later. Then you're literally 70, $80, and on top of that, they want you to spend at least 150 these days
So God
on
only
average.
knows how much you're gonna be spending on GTA 6 when or however that game will come out. You're gonna
Yeah,
be
I mean,
spending
like I said, they
at
they got the
least
rumored tiers. If you want to get in the earliest, you're gonna have to get the platinum tier, which is gonna be $120. Rumored, anyways, 120.
wild, wild.
It's
But I
crazy
mean,
talk.
I guess depends on if we're gonna be playing that game like nonstop or it's not gonna come out with all the shit that we've been promised or they've been picking up on what people's been asking.
Hmm.
Like what? I mean, what is anyone asking about that game? Like what in that game is going to be changed? Like no disrespect, fuck fuck the bigger map. No offense, fuck the bigger map. If the game is going to be terrible, I
I
need to know
mean, being
what are
terrible is
you
a long
what
shot.
are you what are you going to bring into the game?
I mean that's the thing. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on GTA because I know
Oh no
what
no.
I know. Like I said, for the rumors I've read, the story's already finished. Like everything story wise is already done, and the map is finished. They're literally just trying to work out the kinks for online. I think it's going to be it's going to be all it's cracked up for as far as it is. But like I said, if they're introducing terrible practices and they're doing ID, I won't know what it is like because I won't play and support stuff like that. I can't.
Hmm.
But I mean, I really think. Look at literally look at the trailer. I mean, I'm not trying to.
No, trailer look nice. The
Rockstar
trailer
doesn't
look
need
nice.
Rockstar doesn't need more fanboys on their shit. But it's just, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, my biggest thing as far as just knowing the inside, and I know the OG original writers and everyone that made GTA 3 and up to GTA 5 are gone. Like I know they're Dan Schneider, not Dan basically Dan Hauser. Yeah, not Dan Schneider. Dan Hauser and his brother. I think his brother may still be there, but Dan Hauser is gone. He's been gone since Red Dead Redemption 2. So, and he literally was the creator of GTA 3 and all the writing that spawned there, and you know, all those GTA's were his babies. So it'll be interesting just to see the writing and if it's going to be politically correct, rinsed, or it'll be interesting to see what they do. But like I said, if you're gonna sit here and make me put in my ID or my social number, I won't know because I'm just not gonna play it.
You heard it here, folks. Again, he said, "Hell no."
Yep, I won't. And we're talking about a kid that's been playing GTA since literally the first one when it was top down. So
We're talking about the Vice City episodes.
we'll it'll be something I have to get over. But like I said, my backlog's crazy. And us just as a community, as gamers and as consumers, this is the stuff we're just gonna have to tap in and say no to because they've already shown us left and right, from the corporations to the actual government entities themselves. They're gonna rock with who pays the most.
And
And
trust and believe, we
so
got games to play if
that's what I'm saying.
GTA 6 want to be on some shit.
All right, we're good over here. So
We don't need it.
facts,
um
facts.
so to kind of like come to conclusion of today's episode, I want you guys to really take a breathe. I wanted you guys to take a breath. You guys to understand. This is all opinion. This is this. Well, some of it. Well, the whole Roblox and stuff. That's not funny. That is facts. You can look it up. Roblox right now. I don't know if they passed it. Roblox right now. They're talking about launching a dating, and they're also talking about putting ID in that. Let me tell you something. You put the ID in Roblox. Roblox. Any person can view that shit. Anyone can view that shit. Especially if you put that in your profile.
And the
Now,
last little point, just because we are trying to wrap this up, there is two big developments with that as well. There's Chris Hansen, the creator of Dateline NBC, who did the whole To Catch a Predator series. He's literally launching an investigation on Roblox right now and child predators as
he
we
should.
speak, and he's literally about to drop a documentary
Oh shit.
to the point that the CEO and creator of Roblox actually responded and basically said that they are
Sorry.
going to take all of these into serious consideration and that they've always took child security as number one. So like I said,
And Chris Hansen ain't playing.
it's very interesting that they would choose that. dating launch with all that stuff going on. But yeah, hey, like I said, the freaks are gonna go to where the freaks want to go. It's
Yes,
just up to
sir.
you keeping your kids out of it at the end of the day and letting them know this world is not every place is for kids. You know,
No,
unfortunately.
and as this day and age, like I'm pretty sure, at least for the people in our generation, we know that this when we grew up, we could kind of be to ourselves. We know we can't do that now. We know we can't leave our kids by themselves. I don't, even if they're 13, 14 years old, because even now, the way, especially the way
Yeah,
we were
different
supposed
place.
to way we're supposed to be raising our kids, now they're basically scared of everything now. Can't really discipline them. Like we can't really flick them or pop them without them crying, and by them
I
crying,
mean,
because no, because literally last year, and I'm not trying to reach more into this, but last year my kids' school had a thing where they wanted us to sign over ability for them to basically tell our kids, hey, if your parents put their hands on you, you have the right to tell us. Like if they need like anything, like for just come out and just talk to them every day, like just like apparently every day about it, or like once a week. I forgot what more like it. But anyways, it just made me really weird. I'm like, why now? You need more. Like, why are you worried about all that? Like, my kids they're safe and sound, no marks on their fucking body, nothing like
yeah,
that.
yeah, that was interesting. That's a whole nother topic when it
Yeah,
comes
but
to
but
yeah, and then just the state laws in
yeah,
school.
yeah, that's a different episode. It's not gonna be next episode because I have an idea for next episode too. But to wrap this up for today's episode, y'all, just really, really pay attention to what you're doing online. Pay attention to who you're talking to. If you are a certain age, respectfully talk to people you're around your age group.
I mean, yeah,
Res-
that goes without
Very
saying,
respectfully.
but
And
definitely.
I'm gonna be blunt about it. I'm not gonna hide it because let me tell you something. The more we sugarcoat shit, the more we hide true intentions, the more people have more gateway on letting shit slide. And I will speak up. I will speak up about it because for me, stuff like that's not funny.
I don't know.
For we have you know, yeah, I'm not saying that. Depending on the situation, I'm not saying some, but child molesters should not be on these fucking sites. They should not be anywhere on a fucking computer, anywhere on technology. If they are a registered sex offender, they should not even have a phone. I don't believe they should have a phone. They should have either they should just either be in an
Yeah,
area, but either way,
real talk.
you know, that's another conversation. I'm sorry, y'all. Just I really appreciate people looking out for themselves. So just take any every out of everything I've said or Draco said, just take care of yourself. Be safe. Make sure your kids are safe. Pay attention to what your kid is reviewing and watching. Put a code on that. If you think you should be on it first, before you should see what they're doing before you have your kids on it. Yada yada yada. You know, I I appreciate the people who showed up. Appreciate the people who's gonna keep watching this. I appreciate the support from all y'all. So thank you.
Sir, we can't do it without you all, and like uh, like the earlier topic, just take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, keep an ear out to the streets, keep an ear out to your people, and everything will be all right. Everything is keep everything in tandem, everything in balance, yin and yang. Take care of yourself and take care of the forces around you. You can be good. You can be straight.
Yes,
Always worry
sir.
about yourself and worry about things around you. Be good.
All right, y'all. That's from the Bandit Bros. On to the next one. See y'all for
Yes,
the
sir.
next hunt. Peace.
Peace.